Hey guys, I hope you're doing well and that you've had a good summer. I've been a little busy and crazy, but the fall collections are coming in. I already reviewed the Essie fall collection. That has been on my channel for probably about a month now, and today I'm reviewing the OPI Fall Wonders collection for 2022. Just so you guys know, on my fingers I am wearing Clay Dreaming. It's a beautiful kind of mid-tone peachy shade. It's so perfect for summer, and I'm glad I remembered to pull it out. There's lots of fun shades that I still need to pull out, and summer is leaving us very soon. Just wanted to let you guys know because I always get asked about that. This collection was sent to me from Beyond Polish. You can use my code GOLARI10 for a discount there. I really appreciate you guys shopping off my link. It really helps me out. It allows me to buy new collections to review for you guys. So I wanted to let you guys know that this polish here that I'm going to talk about, the blue one, it's called Suzy Takes a Sound Bath. This one's kind of hard to find. Beyond Polish doesn't have it. I think most companies don't have it yet, but it will be coming. I was only able to find it in the OPI Infinite Shine line, just so you guys know, but it should be coming up, but this is a good one. So I'll let you know on Instagram when it becomes available. I'll talk about it more in depth as we get into the review. I really like the whole color palette of this collection. I do have quite a few comparisons just because there are a lot that are pretty close, if not exact to some, and pretty similar. So I think you'll find the comparisons very helpful. I'm going to do it the same way I always do it. I'll talk about the color and do the live swatch and then the comparison. It's just the way you guys like it. I would like to know your thoughts on this collection down below, so make sure to comment and like and subscribe, and let's get into the collection. The first one we have is Peace of Mind, and it's this beautiful warm gray. It's a little bit taupe, and it does have just a splash of purple in there. I really love these types of shades for fall, and I'm kind of craving them already. So this might be the first one that I put on. We'll have to see. This has a beautiful formula. OPI always kills it with their formula. This is going to be opaque in 2 coats. You might need 3 depending on your application, but it builds up very nicely. It's got a beautiful, nice cream formula. I have 3 sets of comparisons for this, so we're going to just go through them because I knew you guys would be curious to see what it compared to. I don't think I found anything exact, super exact. Well, maybe I did one, but let's get into them and talk about it. So it first reminded me of Topeless Beach, and that one's very close. It's maybe slightly darker and slightly more purple. I feel like the formula on this one's maybe a touch more creamy, and Topeless Beach is maybe a little bit more acrylic, but they're both really great polishes. So that's the closest one that I found. And then OPI Nature Strong White as Rain is even more purple, and Audio Bad Nails Chow Great Nails is more of a purple shade and has, of course, that little bit of texture to it. That is such a fun one for fall. I'm definitely going to try to pull that one out as well. Okay, and another set of comparisons, No Place Like Stockholm. Here we have some Essies. That one's more cooler toned, but close as well. And then Phone Sweet Phone is close, but a touch more of like a red purple tone. And then Chinchilli is a darker shade. This is a super good one for fall. I'm sure all of you know about it, but if you don't, I'm telling you now. This is a classic Essie shade, and it's really great for fall. And then the last comparison here, we have Take It Outside, and that's lighter and more beige. And then Master Plan has more brown undertones, and Just the Way You Arctic is more purple, and another fave of mine for fall. So like I said, this is pretty close to Topeless Beach. The formulas are a little bit different, but I liked it. I didn't really care that it was pretty close to Topeless Beach because I really do like this one, and I'll definitely be pulling it out for fall. And then we have Clay Dreaming. This is such a dreamy shade for fall. It's this beautiful mauve purple with a little bit of gray. It has a little bit of smokiness to it, and it's kind of a mid-tone color. It's not super dark, not super light. I'm gonna be wearing this for sure, and I feel like it goes maybe a little bit darker on the nail. I'll have to look at the picture, but I feel like it does. This one has a fantastic formula. You can get it opaque in 1 coat. I do find it better to do 2 thinner coats though, just because it can get a little bit bubbly if you really try to push it with 1 coat. So I would suggest 2 thinner coats for this one, but it does have a perfect formula. And let's get into those comparisons. So I compared to Time Feeling Sashi, and that one's very close. That's a super old polish. I've had that for so long. It's maybe a little bit softer, and it's definitely a little bit more sheer, but it's pretty close. I think in the picture you're gonna think that it's exactly the same, but the formulas are a little bit different. And then OPI Nature Strong Simply Radishing is more pink. Clay Dreaming is like the purple version of this shade, which I totally loved from last year and wore all fall. So I like both of these. And then just laying around is more of a red purple toned color and it's more bright. It was a summer release. And then here is the next comparison. We have Merino Cool. That one's close, just cooler and dustier. Angora Cardi is more rich. And then Rooting for You, which is another fantastic polish that I loved and wore a ton last year, has more of a mauve brown undertone. One is so good. All of these are so good. So I'm definitely going to be reaching for this one. It's a beautiful shade. It's very moody. I love the smokiness to it. It's perfect for fall. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but it really is. This next one is Ochre the Moon, and it's a beautiful mustardy polish. This one is more green leaning. It has quite a bit of green in it, which I kind of like a little bit more than some of those yellow tone mustardy colors. It kind of tones it down and makes it a little bit more muted, and so I like this better than some of the other ones. Yes, this kind of reminds me of newborn baby poop, but sometimes I like that. Sometimes I don't mind that on my nails. Am I going to wear this fall? That'll be the true test. I'm not sure. We will see. But this has a really great formula. It's going to build up nicely in 2 coats. Because it is a yellow, you might need 3, but I think you really can get away most of the time with 2 coats just because it really does have a fantastic formula, but don't be surprised if you have to do 3. So let's get into the comparisons. I did find a polish that's like exact to this. It's Essie Expressi Taxi Hopping. That one's very, very close, if not exact. It's maybe a touch more yellow. We all know how we felt about that one when that one came out, and I don't know, maybe it's just growing on me. I feel like I like this one and I actually might wear it, so we'll see. And then My Happy Bass is more green but kind of close, and then Piece of Work is more green. It's more kind of a lime green. Those were the closest that I had that I pulled out. All the other OPI greens are more like forest greens, and so I didn't want to pull out those. And then I didn't pull out any of my mustard yellows just because they're quite a bit more yellow and they're going to be quite a bit different. You're going to think they're pretty close, but they're not. Anyway, I liked this one. The true test will be to see if I wear it this fall. We'll see. Then we have Medi-take It All In, and it's this gorgeous purple toned color. I love these types of purples for fall. This one has a touch of red in it, which warms it up just a little bit, which I really love. And I always wear this type of color in the fall time, especially as we go from like August to September into October. I'm really going to reach for this one. The formula on this one is really, really great. It builds up in 2 coats, and like any other OPI polish, the formula is just really, really great. There's a lot of purples out there. And a lot of purples from OPI, but that's okay. Let's do these comparisons. You can look at them. Maybe you're just starting your collection. You can see which ones maybe you like the most, but let's get into it because I have 3 sets. The first set I have a Manicure for Beads, which is a fantastic polish, and that one has more red tones in it. And then Grandma Kissed a Gaucho, that one is the closest, but the formula on that one is quite sheer. It's maybe a touch lighter, but it's very, very close, but it took me 3 coats to get that opaque. So there is a difference there. So if you like Grandma Kissed a Gaucho, then you might like this one because the formula is quite a bit better. Well, it's not better, it's just different. That one's more of a crelly. And then Newberry is more rich and more red, and that was from last year's release. And then we have Violet Visionary, which is also a newer shade, and that's richer and a little bit deeper. And Skating on Thin Iceland is a richer shade as well with more red. A Grape Affair is darker inky purple. And then some Essie comparisons. Set the Tiki Bar High is very, very close, but maybe a touch more red. Berlin the Club is a richer, deeper purple, and then Making Harmony is a more muted plum purple shade. Like I said, I mean, there's a lot of purples. I don't know if you need this one. I felt happy to have it because it wasn't exact to those that I thought it would be exact to, so I was kind of pleasantly surprised. But there is a ton of purples from OPI, so I'll let you decide if you want to pick it up, but I am happy to have it. So then we have Suzy Takes a Sound Bath, and this is the one I was talking about that's not quite available yet. I did find it at Ulta in the Infinite Shine line, but it is a beautiful blue. It's a really kind of original blue. It has some gray in it and maybe a touch of purple, and then it has this really subtle metallic shimmer going through it that's a little bit of a brighter, more royal blue, and even a little bit of silver I see in here too. So it's got like a lining of silver. Anyway, it's really interesting. I don't really like metallic polishes, but I like this one quite a bit, and I think I'm going to really like it for fall. This one really surprised me. It has a really great formula. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats. It just builds up really nicely. You can see that there. Okay, let's get into comparisons. This one's quite unique. I really didn't have anything like it. Here we have Beautiful Horizon, and that's more of a gray blue, and it has a golden shimmer, and the shimmer is pretty strong in that. This shimmer in this new polish is very subtle. And then Duomo Days leans more gray, and it's a little bit different, but this is a good one. I forgot about that polish. I'm gonna have to pull it out this fall. The Anchor Down is more navy as well. So definitely unique. This is probably the one to get from the collection because it is quite unique, and I really love the tone of blue. It's gonna look really good with the fall colors, and I definitely always have to pull out blue, so I'm really, really, really excited about this one. Even though it's a shimmery color, I just really enjoyed it. And then we have Clean Slate, and it's this mid-tone gray color. It's a little bit more of a warm gray, and then it has the same kind of metallic shimmer running through there, so it's got that silver in there. So this one's really interesting. OPI does have a few shades kind of similar to this, but they're not super exact. But the formula on this one's really good. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats. The formulas may be a little bit thin, but I could get it opaque in 2 coats. You might have to do 3. It's really just going to depend on how you apply it. But I thought it went on pretty nice and it built up pretty well, even though it's kind of a thinner formula. But sometimes with that thinner formula, you're going to have that shimmer stand out just a little bit more. So this one's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'll probably won't wear this one, but I think a lot of you are going to like it. Okay, so let's talk about those comparisons. Here we have I Don't Give a Rotterdam, and that's a similar gray with the silver glitter. Definitely not exactly the same though. And then Suzy Talks with Her Hands. There's no shimmer in this, but I kind of wanted you to see how it compared to that gray. And then Destined to Be a Legend, which is also different, but I also thought you wanted to see that. I really didn't have anything that's like exactly the same to this, so this one I feel like is quite unique. Unless I'm missing something, if I am, let me know down below. It's really interesting polish. And then we have Brown to Earth, and I love browns for fall. It's one of my favorite shades to wear. I know a lot of people hate wearing browns. You either love it or you hate it, I think. I love brown. I just think it's so classy. This is a beautiful kind of cool toned brown, and it has a little bit of smokiness, maybe a touch of purple, not a ton, but just a touch. And I find it to be really interesting. It was interesting pulling out comparisons for this one, but we'll talk about those in a minute. But the formula is so great. You're probably going to be able to get it opaque in 1 to 2 coats. It just builds up so nicely. It does go on a little bit darker on the nail than it looks in the bottle. So that kind of surprised me because I pulled out some comparisons and then I realized that I needed to find some darker comparisons. And yeah, so I pulled out some darker ones after that because it does dry down a little bit darker. It is so pretty though. I love these deep, rich browns. Okay, so let's talk about those comparisons. So I compared it to How Great Is Your Dane, and that one's a more muted brown. I love that one. Let's be honest, I love all these browns. Chronological Order is more of a dusty and more cool toned like Brown to Earth, but it definitely has a dustiness to it, so it's got maybe a little bit of white in the base. And then That's What Friends Are For is a softer brown. And then here's another comparison. It's Top Secret is a little more rich, a little darker and warmer. And then Olive and June CN is lighter and warmer, and Mink Muffs is softer and lighter and warmer. I feel like Essie doesn't really have any dark browns like this, do they? I mean, I kept looking and looking and I'm like, I don't think they do. Why don't they? They need to get some more dark browns. If I'm missing one, let me know, because I pulled out Mink Muffs and that was like the darkest one that I think of, and it's quite a bit lighter. So anyway, I really liked this one. Even though there's quite a few browns, it's definitely not exactly the same as the ones that I have, so I was super happy about that. I'm happy to have another brown. And then we have Cave the Way, and this is kind of a slate charcoal colored polish, and then it has that same kind of metallic shimmer that those other two did that I talked about, and it's got that kind of silver shimmer running underneath that's very fine. So it's very similar to the lighter gray one. It's just a little bit darker, more charcoal. So I like this. I do like that it's a little richer and deeper. I think those particles kind of stand out a little bit more when the polish is a little bit darker and deeper, and it's got a really nice formula and it builds up super quick in 2 coats. You can probably get away with 1 though, to be honest, but it's a really, really fantastic formula. Okay, so this did remind me of Black Dress Optional. That one's very close, but that one has kind of like a blue shimmer in it. That's such a cool polish. And then Colmates has more glitter and they're a little bit larger. And then Tribal Textiles is a cool color, but it has brighter glitter. But I like this one. I'll probably reach for this one more than the other gray one, and I think it's really cool. Here we have Midnight Mantra. I love a good navy for the fall. This one's really inky. A lot of the ones they've been coming out with recently are kind of more purple leaning, and this one's kind of just like a straight up navy. It does have kind of like a inky, crelly formula, and if you've used navy polishes before, you know what I mean. So I would use a base coat with this for sure because it might have the potential to stain. I didn't really see any staining on my nails or my skin around my fingers when I took it off, but I would just be super careful with it because it's very, very inky. And so it's a little bit sheer on that first coat, but it does build up nicely in 2 coats. I thought I might have to do 3, but I really think you can get away with 2. Having the formula that way gives it a really richness to it and a depth, so I like the navy polishes that are kind of like that. There are some that have more white in the base, a little bit more creamy. They do have just kind of a different look. Compared to the other navies, since this polish is so dark, it's going to be really hard to tell the differences, but I'm going to tell you what the differences are, but you might not be able to even see them on the nail, so I'll let you decide if this is worth picking up for you or not, but let's talk about those right now. So I compared it to I Saw, You Saw, We Saw, Warsaw, and that one's pretty close. I love that polish. I feel like this one's probably the updated version of that one, which I'm kind of happy about. And then my favorite Gal Pal is pretty close as well, and it's even more corally, 3 coats. And then Infinity is more muted. So March in Uniform and Isn't It a Grand Adventure are both more purple toned like I talk about. I decided not to do them in the comparison just because they're a little bit close, but they're definitely more purple leaning, especially if you put the bottles up to a light, you can tell that it's more purple in the base. So anyway, I'll let you decide if you get it, but I love it. Then we have Rust and Relaxation. And these are my favorite types of red to wear in the fall. Reds that lean orange. And it is fantastic. The formula is great. It's a little bit crelly-ish, so you're going to have to probably do 3 coats to get it where you want it to be, but it is worth it. It's so beautiful. I love a red pop of color in the fall. So let's talk about those comparisons. I was really happy about this one because Color Binge is one of my favorite Essie polishes, and I pull it out every fall. I'm pretty sure I've worn it every fall for the last like 10 years. I don't even know if it's been out that long, but ever since it's been out. This one's very, very close to that. So if you're an OPI lover, you'll like this, but it's kind of close to some other OPIs too. So here is a red Vival City, and that one's very close. It's maybe a touch more red. You're not going to be able to see these differences here in this picture. It's going to be very hard, but I'm going to tell you what they are. And then My Chihuahua Doesn't Bite Anymore. That one's a little bit more red and a little bit brighter. That is such a good polish. And then Red Lights Ahead, Where, another one of my favorites, is a little bit more red. Essie Gel Couture Style Center is very close as well, just so you guys know. And then Lava is more orange from Olive and June, and Color Binge, like I said, is very close. It's maybe a touch more orange, but I feel like that was the closest. And a Red Vival City, those were the 2 closest, but it is so fun for fall. I can't wait to pull it out and take some pictures of it with some leaves in the background. I'm getting kind of excited for fall. And then we have Readville Your Truth. Is it Red? Redville Your Truth. And this is a beautiful pink leaning red, which I also love. So these are my 2 favorite types of red in here. I always love applying red, but I don't always pull it out. And if I do pull it out, it's usually kind of around the holidays, but maybe I'll try to wear more red this fall because I really, really like this one. It does kind of have a curly formula as well, so it's going to take a little bit to build up. Possibly need 3 coats, but it does give it kind of a nice squishy built up look, which I really love. But man, there's just a lot of reds from OPI, but that's okay. They must sell or something because they just keep coming out with them. So we're going to talk through these comparisons. They're all pretty close, but they're are little slight differences, but really they're going to be very, very close. Okay, so let's talk about those. Adam said it's New Year's Eve. That one's almost exact. I love that polish, so of course I like this one. And then Tell Me About It Stud, you can see here. And then Candied Kingdom is a little bit darker. That one's really good too. These are all really good reds. I did 3 coats on all these polish just so you could really see the true comparison because I did 3 coats with this Redville Your Truth. So I just wanted to make a note of that as well. So hopefully those comparisons are helpful. If you don't have any good reds, this is a really great one to pick up and add to your collection. And the last one we have is I Mica Be Dreaming. It's a beautiful champagne colored glitter polish. Is it holographic? Tell me down below because I don't know. I always forget what makes a polish holographic because I don't wear them very often. It's just not my thing. I don't have a lot of knowledge in it, but I know that I like this one. It's more cooler toned, more silver leaning instead of more gold leaning, which I really appreciate and love. Formula is really, really nice. It builds up perfectly in 2 coats and it's got kind of a few bigger gold glitters in there too that are a little bit warmer. So I think it's really cool. This one totally reminds me of my favorite ornament. Oops, I lost my notes. This one totally reminds me of my favorite ornament, and that was one that I have worn for a long time for the holidays. That one's quite a bit more glittery and sparkly, but I'm going to show you those comparisons comparisons here. So here it is here. As you can see, my favorite ornament is more reflective and the glitter pieces are a little bit bigger, but it's the same kind of color tone. And then all sparkling gold, same thing. Those glitter pieces are a little bit bigger and that's a little bit more yellow gold. And then glitter all the way you can see is even a more yellow gold. And that just gives you an idea of how it sits there on the gold spectrum. So it's a little bit more cooler, which I love. So I'm definitely going to be using this during the holidays for sure. I always love OPI fall collections. I just always do. I kind of want to add the navy, but I'm not going to. But I just know I mentioned it. These are my favorites here. So we've got the lighter one, Peace of Mind, and then the brown to earth, the orange toned red, rest and relaxation, this brighter purple, Medi-take it all in. Suzy takes a sound bath, the blue, and this kind of mauve purple shade, clay dreaming. So these are all my favorites. So pretty, so fun, so fun. I'm excited for fall. Which ones are your favorites? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I always appreciate having you guys here and responding to you in the comments. I need to catch up on that though for the last few videos, so I apologize about that. I've been a little busy this summer, but anyway, thank you so much and we will see you next time. Bye guys.